What's going on, everyone? Wildcat here, bringing you an evolution video. Now, there are a couple of types that Game Freak has not released as evolutions for Eevee, and we're all hoping that eventually Eevee receives an evolution of each typing. Now, I think they should have stuck to purely evolutionary stones, and they can switch over to that because, as we could see in Scarlet and Violet, to get Glaceon and Leafeon, it's now the Leaf Stone and the Ice Stone. And the Ice Stone is something I think they should have introduced prior. And by prior, I mean when Glaceon was introduced, and just have left the Leaf Stone for Leafeon. Now we know the basics here. This is Gen 1 basics, where Thunderstone, Jolteon, Waterstone, Vaporeon, Firestone, Flareon, and then Max Friendship, level up during the daytime, will give you Espeon. The same, but in the nighttime, gives you Umbreon, which I think would have worked out better with Sunstone to evolve to Espeon and Moonstone to evolve into Umbreon, which is something I hope they change later on. And then we discussed this earlier, the Leaf Stone and Ice Stone that was changed from the level up in front of the Mossy Rock and Icy Rock. Yeah, I believe it was called that. I don't know the proper name for it, but you know what I mean. And then we have Sylveon. Sylveon, whose original evolution method was for Eevee to know a fairy type move, that in Baby Doll Eyes, and level up with maximum happiness. And happiness and friendship were two different things that involved a minigame in Generation 6. I think in Scarlet and Violet it has been changed to the max friendship level up while knowing a fairy type move. And I think the only fairy type move it would get that early is Baby Doll Eyes. But I would have changed it to use a shiny stone on Eevee in order to get Sylveon. So from here on out, I'm going to show you the evolutions that I came up with for the remaining evolutions that have not come out yet, or that Game Freak has not brought out yet. Hopefully they will. It doesn't have to be exactly like this, but this is my take on it. You can let me know what you think in the comments. I'm going to give you the name, the evolutionary method, the type, the ability, the hidden ability, and any moves of interest, any made up moves that they could potentially have. So first up we have here is Baseon. Now Baseon, its name comes from basic. So this is the normal type evolution. Of course, there must be a normal type evolution if we're doing all of the typings. And its evolutionary method is it involves a stone, but not in the way that you would think. So how I came up with this was that Eevee holds the Everstone and levels up, and that is what evolves it into Baseon. And that would further the mystery into Eevee being the evolutionary Pokemon, because as you know, the Everstone prevents evolution, but in the case of Eevee holding it and leveling up, it actually evolves it into this normal type evolution. So yeah, that would add to the mystery of Eevee. Its ability would be Scrappy, and its hidden ability will be one of my own creation, which is called Basic Advance. So what this means is all normal type moves do neutral damage, even to ghosts, meaning that it's like Scrappy, but except it will always hit everything, so it will do neutral damage to steel types, rock types, and to ghosts. Also, all offensive debuffs are ignored, so if you have -6 attack, you're going to be doing the same damage. And for additional moves, it will get Extremespeed along with a plethora of what you would expect from a normal moveset, meaning a mixture of attacks from different typings, but Extremespeed was the one that I wanted to highlight. Also, this list with the names and evolutionary methods and typings and all that good stuff will be linked in the description. So moving on, Metaleon. Metaleon is one that you would know if you had watched my previous evolution video. Make sure to check that out on the channel if you have not as yet. The evolutionary method for this is to use the iron ore. The iron ore is an item of my creation, which would be a steel evolutionary stone to replace the metal coat. Its ability would be sturdy, its hidden ability would be heatproof, and I think that would tie in very well with its steel typing to resist those fire moves. And I created a move called Heavy Stomp. I workshopped the name of a Heavy Slam, which is because there's Slam and there's Heavy Slam. And Heavy Slam is a 100% accurate steel type move, which does damage based on your how much you outweigh your opponent. So in this case, Heavy Stomp would be a physical steel move. Does 90 damage, 100 accuracy, and it has a chance to raise your defense by 1 stage. A 20% chance. So keep that in mind, that is an exclusive move to Metaleon. Up next we have Combateon. Combateon is the fighting type evolution, and it's evolved from Eevee using the Dawnstone. Its ability includes Iron Fist. Its hidden ability is No Guard, and while I did not create any additional moves for this Pokemon, it would get access to moves like Dynamic Punch and Blaze Kick, and also Mega Kick. So those are also not 100% accurate moves, but because of the hidden ability No Guard, it can make use of it and be able to do a lot of damage with them. Next up we have Wyveon, which is a dragon type evolution. Its evolution method is using the Dragon Stone, which is a evolutionary stone of my creation that replaces the dragon scale. It could also be used to evolve Seadra into Kingdra. Its ability is Sheer Force, and its hidden ability is something called Draco Shift. Now Draco Shift would do the same thing as Pixelate because I wanted to mirror Sylveon, in the sense that this should have been introduced alongside Sylveon in Generation 6, where normal type moves are changed to dragon type moves and above 30%. For moves of interest, it would have a basic dragon moveset. I just have here Dragon Dance and Quick Attack. Quick Attack being because Quick Attack would become a priority dragon move, which would get boosted 30% by the Draco Shift. And on top of that, it would get Stab. So it would be a pretty strong move for a priority move. Next up we have Chirpion. Chirpion is the flying type evolution. Its evolutionary method. Now this is where it gets a little bit different. So you have to use the shiny stone on Eevee while it is paralyzed in order to get Chirpion. And here's the funny thing about that. Chirpion's ability is Limber, meaning it cannot be paralyzed. So that's the funny contrast about that. But its hidden ability is Speed Boost. And I created a move for this thing called Razor Wing. It's a physical flying move which base is 75 damage, 100 accuracy, and just has an increased critical hit ratio. So yeah, I really wish I could have gotten it with little wings out its back, but I think the design looks pretty it looks pretty good with it. It can fly using the feathers on its tail, I guess. Yeah, I think all in all it works out. Next up we have the bug type evolution, Chrysalion. It comes from, the chrysalis of a cocoon. So its evolutionary method is use the leaf stone while Eevee is asleep. Now this is supposed to mimic, if a bug is inside a cocoon, you could say it's sleeping, it's hibernating until it evolves or moves on to from the larval stage into the bug stage. I'm using a caterpillar as a reference here. So from a caterpillar into its larval stage into a butterfly, for example. So that's what that would mirror. As you can see, it has the bug-like wings. It looks like a bug type there. Its ability would be Insomnia, which is another ironic twist with it. So It has to be asleep to evolve, but its ability is Insomnia. And its ability is Compound Eyes. I give it Compound Eyes because for moves of interest, it's going to have Hurricane. And we all know how Compound Eyes boosted Hurricane works. It works really well. And I'm also giving him Quiver Dance. He will have Bug Buzz as well. But yeah. So, all in all, it would be a really good Bug-type Pokemon. Next up we have Granateon, which obviously comes from Granite, and if you can guess, this is our rock type. So the evolutionary method is leveling up while holding the hard stone. Yes, I know the hard stone is technically not an evolutionary stone, but it would become one and also an item to boost the damage of rock type moves in this case, because it's still technically a stone. So its ability would be weak armor. Its hidden ability would be Rock Head, and it would have access to Head Smash and Wild Charge, as well as Cell Rock for that rock type priority. Next up, this is probably my favorite one, and you could guess this is the Ghost type evolution, Spectreon. And a simple evolutionary method, use the Dust Stone. Simple as that. Its ability is Curse Body, and hidden ability would be Prankster. And I gave it a little... I don't know if it was my bias because it was my favorite design. I give it the custom move, Haunting Aura. What that does is inflicts a random status move on the opponent. It has an 80% chance to burn or paralyze. It has a 50% chance to sleep or confuse. It has a 10% chance to freeze. And it has a 5% chance to inflict the curse status. Yeah, you heard me right, the curse status. I think the curse status is something that is unused or forgot about because nobody wants to use curse. Because you use half of your HP for it. So to have something that has a rare 5% chance to curse the opponent and constantly reduce the HP is pretty good, I would say. I'm considering to bring it up to 10% because of the mere fact that your opponent could switch out of it. So I might make the freeze 5% and the curse 10% instead, because if you switch out on freeze, you're still frozen. If you switch out on curse, you lose it. Same with confusion. So yeah. But if you use this move, if you would use this move and confuse the opponent, you could use it again to hopefully get the burn or paralysis or sleep or freeze. Because as we know, confusion and curse status doesn't really occupy a status condition per se. I don't know how it is you term it. It's a status condition, but it doesn't occupy like a status afflicted condition like burn, paralysis, freeze, and sleep does. Moving on to Therion, and the evolutionary method for this is by using the Dawn Stone while burnt. And this one has no ironic ability, it just has Intimidate. Actually, I guess it does in a way because Burn halves your attack stat and Intimidate lowers attack stat. So I didn't plan for that one, but it just worked out that way. So hey, hidden ability Fur Coat, because why not? Reduce that physical damage. Moves of interest, Earthquake, Fissure, and Setup in Bulk Up. And the last one, which I think is the most interesting and has the spot for my second favorite one, is Toxeon. Now, you're seeing two potential made up evolutions here. Which one is Toxeon? Both of them are Toxeon. What I mean by this is, this particular evolution has a form change involved. So on the right is Toxeon's base form, and its evolutionary method is using the Dust Stone on Eevee while Eevee is poisoned. Now the regular form has an ability called Neurotoxin. What that means is when it comes out into battle, all active Pokemon, whether it be your one, your opponent's one, or if it's switch into battle, so it's whether it starts off the battle or switch into battle, everything becomes paralyzed. And when it is afflicted with a status condition, it changes to its venom form, and it is healed of its status condition, but just Toxeon. And that works in well with the venom, with its venom form ability, which is Merciless. And we all know what Merciless is. Merciless is an ability that only Toxapex gets, but Toxapex cannot make use of it because it kinda has a low attack stat. It's better with Regenerator. But for those of you who don't know, is that whenever a Pokemon that is attacked and they are poisoned, it always deals a critical hit. And I give it a made-up move called Hypertoxin. It's a special attack, special poison attack that does 70 base damage, 100% accurate. And if the opponent has a status condition on it, it changes the status condition to badly poison, and then damage calculation occurs. The reason for that detail is because of Merciless. So the paralyzed Pokemon that would have gotten its status from the Neurotoxin when Toxeon came in, that can be changed to badly poison, and you could just hit them with a critical hit right off the bat. So I think it would encourage, the use of like status teams. It's a pretty versatile one with that. I think all these Pokemon created would be very versatile evolutions, and I think they're all good ideas. You could let me know what you think about this in the comments. If you think any of them were too broken. I tried not to make it too broken. I tried for it to be as balanced as possible. But you could let me know your opinions in comments below, because that's it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Until next time, goodbye.